Hey everybody, this is Cliff here with Hambleton Transportation. Today I am at the Port of Baltimore. We are picking up a Cat 330 excavator and we're taking that up to Binghamton, New York in the morning. So today I will just load it up onto the trailer and take it home for the night. I live in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, or park my truck in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. So I thought I'd do this video a little different and give you guys kind of a POV, driver's perspective of picking up down here, loading, chaining, and then driving it back to the house and then up to New York in the morning. So I loaded one of these on Monday morning and took it up to Poughkeepsie, New York. And then they had another one. It's probably the one that was sitting right beside the one I loaded. The one I picked up Monday did not have a bucket, and it weighed about 66,000 pounds. If it's the one I'm thinking of, because I was looking at it, there was another one sitting there that has a bucket. So this one should be a couple thousand pounds more, so probably around 68,000 pounds. But we'll go find it, get it loaded up, and then we should be good to go. Looks busy over here. So this is G row. We're actually in the next row over. I think I'm gonna head over here and I'll see if I can go up F row from this end. I know G row has a step deck dock on it. I don't think F row does. Only one truck in this row. So it's a little cramped down here because of all the snow. They still haven't gotten all the snow off of the port down here in Baltimore. So I asked the one guy about it the other day, and he said the state has to come in and take all the snow off. So that's what they're waiting for. All right, there's some room up here, so I think I will park here. I think the excavator we're getting is up at the end of this row, but we got to verify a serial number. So what I am going to do, I think it's sitting right up there. It was. So what do we got? We have 60784. So we have to go find that one. That's the one I'm thinking. It's sitting over there with a bucket on it. Most of these do not have a bucket. I think that's the one we're getting. 60784. 60784. So this is ours. Big old bucket. I'll have to dump that ice out of there. I just want to take a look at it, make sure there's no damage anywhere before we load it. Alright, I think we look good. So I'm going to get this thing out of the hole here and get it over a little closer to the truck. And then once we're over there, we'll go ahead and break the truck down and we will get loaded. All right. It's gonna beep at us until we put our seatbelt on. All right. Okay. So now let's see if we can crawl our way out of here. Just nice and slow and not hit anything. Just want to make sure we're clearing that bulldozer back there. All of this stuff is very expensive, so we don't want to bump into anything. Okay. I do this a lot, huh? All right. Now, we'll leave it sit here and idle. I like to do that. Hi. I like to do that just because these things sit for so long, so it's nice to let them run and build up some juice in the battery. All right, so well, let's make sure. The last one I hauled was 11.2 wide, so I had to get my boards out and use my outriggers on the trailer. So let's just make sure that this one is the same width, which it almost has to be. I don't know why they would make two 330s different widths. But there you go, 11.1.5, so 11.2. Alright, so that means we have to get boards out and put the outriggers out. Okay. First we can drop the suspension and get our chains out and binders. Alright, we got that one, and there it is. Alright, now let's get our boards out for the outriggers. So if you're not familiar with outriggers, these just flip out. These are swing out outriggers. They also make slide out outriggers. The slide outs are a little wider. These, they just swing out, and then you put oak boards on top, and then the tracks sit on top of the boards. So it's basically expanding your deck width. And my boards are 8 feet long, and it's 2 feet in between each one of these. So for 2 8-foot boards, you need 8 outriggers. All right, so now we'll put the boards on top here. So you want to make your first one flush. That way when the excavator is driving up onto it, it doesn't kick this end of the board up. Now, because that has a bucket on it, I shouldn't need anything back here to support it. Should just be able to set that down on top of it, but just in case, I will get my block out. I'm gonna set it back here, and you can set the bucket on there. All right, now we'll get the trailer disconnected. All right, now we will drive the truck away from the trailer up there, and then we can drive the excavator onto the trailer. And then we'll inflate the airbags, lift the neck up off the ground so we don't scrape. All right, now let's go jump back in the excavator and drive it up onto the trailer. Safety first. Throttle down. Now, I want to make sure that you are straight when you come on here, especially with a wide one like this, because they can slide off to one side or the other. So I always line it up with the boards on the deck of the trailer. We're about 2 boards in from the middle at the edge of the track. So that's what I'm going by. So here on the end where we don't have any outrigger boards under it, it can slide, especially on these metal ramps if you're not careful. So you just got to be real careful getting it on. Take it nice and slow. And then once you're back onto the outrigger boards, then you're pretty safe. I still like to go nice and slow though. That way it doesn't get out of whack. Stay nice and straight. Do it right and do it once, right? And then you don't have to go back and do it again and again. Now we need to drop that knuckle right onto that block. Like that. There we go. All right, that should do it. Now we can shut this off. Alright, let's go check and see how we look here. Are we clearing? We have clearance. Are we straight? Looks pretty straight to me. Alright. Let's go hook the truck back up. I don't know how well you guys can see as I back up to this. I use my fenders and the ramp as kind of a guide. So when the bottom of my back fender gets over the first grouser bar on the ramp, I know to drop my suspension. And you just got to kind of get a feel for how far over that needs to be. So that should be about perfect there. And we can back it right up and it should slide right on there. There we go. So that looks pretty good. Make sure our locking pin drops into place. And that's good. Hook our air and electrical lines back up. with the trailer. Third setting is usually where I run at. Sometimes the second if it's a really tall piece. All right. So now we're hooked back up. Now we'll put air back to the suspension. We'll put air to the truck suspension. And while that starts airing up, I will start putting some chains on this thing. And then when that finishes airing up, I will show you guys how I determine the weight of the piece. There's the front. Now we'll get the back. There, the air just popped. So let me show you guys. So I recently got some Blue Ink Tech air scales. So I should be able to go right in here. So it shows the weights of each axle in this app, and that is based off of air pressure in the suspension. So that's one of the sensors here that just ties into the air line, into the airbag, and it tells you the pressure. And then I have the other one is back here. It is right there. So if you guys can see that one, it ties into the air pressure on the airbag on the trailer. Now, the one thing that I have found with these is that sometimes they don't want to connect to my phone. And sometimes I got to close it and open it again. That seems to help some. Okay, there we got the trailer. Now let's see if we can get the truck. So the trailer is reading 55,693 pounds at 69.91 psi. Now if we can get the truck to connect, there it is. So drive axle 42,907, steer axle 13,772, for a total weight of 112,372 pounds. So now what I need to do is call Jen, make sure that she gets those weights and she can pull permits. So this should be pretty accurate. We've calibrated it empty and heavy with 2 loads. So hopefully we should be pretty close to spot on. Alright guys, so I got Jen working on permits. Gentleman in that van came and gave us our paperwork. So we are good to go as soon as we finish chaining and we get all of our flags and banners up. So I'm going to finish that up.
Alright guys, we are all loaded up. We have our Maryland permit. Sorry, the truck is a bit of a mess right now. I've been rushing all day today. We had a delivery over off of 81 in Virginia, close to Mount Jackson, and it was
didn't work out the way I wanted it to, so we were late getting over here. So I was rushing to get over here and then rushing to get this loaded up. And now we got to get home before sunset. So let's see how long that's going to take. All right. So a couple hours, we're going to be cutting it pretty close, if not a little over. So we got to get rolling here. All right. Beacon's going, lights are on. Now we do have to stop at the gate and turn in our gate pass, and then we'll be the oversized route out of Baltimore, and then we'll hit 695 around to 83, and we'll cruise 83 up to 581 to 81. We'll take 11 down to the lot where we park. Alright, so gross weight, we are at 112,000 pounds. Loading one of the bigger ones is a little bit of work. A lot of excavators are like 10.6 wide, which I'll run without outriggers and boards. If it's any wider than that, I like to put boards under it. I know some guys don't. It just seems like an awful lot of track hanging off of there. I feel like anything over 10.6 you should run outrigger boards under it. So that adds a bit of work, lugging those boards around. And then you still have to chain everything. So just a bit of work, especially late in the day. So I put those Blue Ink Tech air scales on last weekend, and they seem to be working. So they tell you have to do an empty load, and then you have to do a heavy load, calibrating it. And then after you do that, they should be set up and they should give you your weights pretty accurately. But I'm just a little skeptical. I don't know how far I want to trust those weights. So we added, I think we added like 1,000 pounds to the drives because they seemed a little low based on the last one we did. And we added, I think 500 pounds or so to the tridem. So, but it should get us closer than, because before we would just go by the pressure in the air gauges and we would just guess, and then, you know, we would add some weight so we didn't get a ticket for being overweight on our axles. but we may be 2,000 or 3,000 pounds off. We're hoping that with this, we won't be that far off, and that'll actually save us some money while we're pulling some permits. So that's the goal with those scales, the air scales. Alright, I'm going to take you guys off my head for a bit while I get out of the gate, and then I'll resume our route out of Baltimore. Alright, we're out of the gate. There's a bit of a line there. Everybody waiting to get off the port at the end of the day, I suppose. So now, oversized route, we will go straight across here. Which I think is what that guy should be doing. Maybe just oversized don't have to go this way anymore. But I know overweight does. Dundalk, Dunhill, Groning, Boston. Yeah, same route as always. Don't know how long the battery will last on my my GoPro. Hopefully it lasts all the way out of Baltimore here. Tight through here, especially if trucks take the left lane on the oncoming side. Hopefully we can scoot right through here. That would be nice. Looks like we're going to. Look at that. Bus is doing. doesn't have red lights going, it's just 4 ways. So I guess we'll go around. Car sitting in the street. I don't like coming through here, it's so late in the day. Going around the loop, yeah. Hopefully we can get on 695 here and it's not backed up too bad. I mean, it's probably wishful thinking. So Pennsylvania limits you to Sunset if you're over 10.6 wide, or over 10 feet wide, sorry. So we are limited to Sunset, and Sunset is like 540. So it's gonna be real close getting home. If I'm like 15-20 minutes over, I'll probably just run home. If it's going to be more than that, I'm probably going to have to find a spot to stop. And, you know, maybe I can have Jen come and get me so I can actually spend the night at home. Because I'll be real close. Alright guys, so I'm going to work my way around the 695 loop. I'll try to get another battery into the camera, and I will talk to you guys in a bit.
So
guys. Well, we made it up here to 81. We're about to get on 81 off of 581. We're a little late. It's almost 6 o'clock, but I think we're gonna make it. So we have about 9 miles to go. Just gotta hit 81, over to 114, and then down to 11. So 695 was pretty slow. And then we had a couple slowdowns coming up 83 through York. But looks like we're gonna make it all right. So I'll be home tonight. Of course, nobody will let me over. There we go. Well, I would be happy when the days get longer. Wintertime makes it tough running oversized stuff. They're starting to get a little better, but it's still, you know, 5:30 when it's getting dark. Getting tired, my shifts are getting sloppy. All right. Well, luckily we made it all the way back. Gotta move my truck. The snow's melting, so pretty soon I'll be able to pull through like I usually do. Usually I'll go all the way around the lot and then pull in the back of my parking spot, but with the snow I haven't been able to do that, so I have to back in. It's easier to get my stuff out of the passenger side of the truck. So I'm gonna pull over on here on this side. Yep, definitely should have turned the headlights off. I can't see anything. I think I'm pretty well lined up though. As long as I don't back into my truck, that wouldn't be good. Well, it must not be in the snow. I tell you, it's pretty hard to see. Is that good? Back a little bit more. There, I think we're good there. All right, guys. Well, we made it back here to the lot for the night. I'm trying to get that light out of your eyes. Made it back here to the lot. Is there a mark on my head? So yeah, it's about 6:15, so I'm only, 45 minutes after sunset. That's not too bad, right? At least I'm not trying to run all night. We'll get back over here in the morning and hit the road at sunrise, and then, gosh, I didn't even look how far it is to Binghamton, but I think it's like 200 miles. It's not that far. 100, might be yeah, it's got to be like 200, maybe 220, because all the way up to Syracuse I think is 250 or 270. So it's probably like 200 to 220 miles in the morning. Get this delivered, and then we actually got another load picking up in Carbondale, PA, which is on the way home, and it's going back to the port. And then we have another load out of the port that we're picking up and bringing home Friday to run down to Tennessee on Monday. So loads are lining up and we're making money. All right, guys, I will see you in the morning. Good morning, everybody. So it is the next morning. It's about 10 till 7. Sunrise is at 7:07. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my pre-trip done, get the truck fired up, and then we can hit the road and get up to Binghamton, this big old kitty cat. I need to get some washer fluid when I stop for fuel next. Gosh, this cold and salty weather is hard on filters. I had one clog up on me on the way home from Oklahoma last week. I had to take it into the shop. They had to replace them. Also need a new pair of gloves. These are getting pretty crusty. When your gloves make your hands dirty instead of keeping them clean, that's when you know it's time. All right, let's get this thing fired off. Not as cold this morning. So if it's real cold, like single digits, this thing will start a little rough. But at 30, it's no problem. Cold starts are not really a problem for this truck. Check my tire pressure with my tire pressure gauge. Make sure everything stayed tight on the trip from the port. Yep, we're good. About 110. All the lights are working. Oh, I
back too far in last night. Deep snow. In my defense, it was dark last night, so it was hard to see what the heck I was doing backing in here. Everything looks good. Look at what a mess that is. I've tried to organize this, and just with all the shaking going down the road, it just gets all jumbled together. I ought to get a couple little boxes or something to put in there, then I can keep things organized. But it's okay. So we got about 10 minutes. We'll let this bad boy warm up, get some heat. Let's put in where we're going here. So I said 220 last night. It's actually 190. So that's not bad at all. It's like 3 hours, maybe 3.5. So I am anticipating being home again today, but I always take stuff for an overnight stay, because you never know. A really good load could pop up that'll keep you out overnight, or heaven forbid something happens, flat tire or whatever, and you get stuck out. Definitely don't want to be out without a fresh pair of undies or anything. All right. It is 7:05. I think that's close enough to 7:07. Considering we were like 45 minutes after sunset last night. Anybody else that hauls oversized stuff, do you push that limit a little bit on the sunset thing, or do you shut down 20 minutes before, or how do you work that? Because I never know what to do. If I'm close to home, I usually just go home. Coming up 83 there's like one truck stop on the way up. There's a couple little gas stations. There's probably more than I think. I don't stay. It's my local area, so I never use truck stops in this area. Uh-oh. Oh, I thought he was coming in here. I was like, oh boy. But anyway, I don't know of many truck stops in that area, so I'm always pretty hesitant, especially with an oversize, to go in and try to get a spot somewhere. And then Jen would have to come get me, because I know she wouldn't let me stay out there, 20 miles from the house. So I figure it's safer for the equipment, just to bring it home. But I might change my mind if I get a ticket. So I get stopped and get a fine for that, then maybe I'll not push it the next time. I don't know. There's a big loader pulling out from the Keene yard. It looks heavy. It's got a bunch of axles. Look at that guy, parked in front of the no parking sign on Route 11 here, because he needs a cup of coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. He couldn't have possibly gone into the Flying J, where there's an actual truck stop right behind it, and gotten a cup of coffee in there. No. He probably needs a donut.
speed. We had a load going, well, this load goes to Binghamton. And then we had a load picking up not too far away in New York. No, it wasn't New York. It was Carbondale, PA, which is just above Scranton on 6. We had a load picking up in Carbondale and going down to the port for delivery on Friday. I thought we were all set up with that. And then last night he emailed and said there's a problem with the machine and it's not going to work. Which I think actually means he found somebody to do it for a couple $100 less and gave the load to him. That's usually how that works. So there's a load on the board. It's a John Deere skidder. Is it John Deere? I don't know. Anyway, it's a skidder. It's also going down to the port, so it's not paying as much. But I figure it's better than deadhead miles, and we have a load to pick up down there as well. So the port is closed today for Lincoln's birthday. And then it's also closed on Monday for President's Day. But they are open on Friday. So if I can get that down to the port on Friday and get it delivered, then I can also pick up our load. We have a Volvo, I think it's a Volvo, articulated dump truck going down to Laverne, Tennessee. If I can pick that up at the same time, I'll bring it home. So it's going to be extra miles and an extra permit for Pennsylvania, but it also allows me to work on Monday, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to pick that up until Tuesday. So if I can get the load down to Baltimore, then I will run that down, deliver it, pick up that dump truck and bring it home for the weekend, and then Monday I won't have to sit home because it's President's Day. I'll be able to run down to Tennessee Monday and either get it delivered Monday or early Tuesday. It'll probably be early Tuesday. But that'll keep us rolling and, you know, keep the money keep the money coming in. Which is the name of the game. Alright guys, I'm gonna keep rolling up 81 here. Binghamton is right off of 81, so there's not even a turn today. We just stay with 81 all the way up. And I will see you guys, well, I won't see you guys, but I will talk to you later. Into New York. We're about 5 or 6 miles away from delivery. Just ran into a snow squall, so it started snowing pretty good. So New York, you're supposed to the oversize, you're supposed to be 55 miles an hour. So I usually set cruise to 60 or 62, around there. Alright, so that was Jen. She was just calling about the skidder we were looking at picking up. Apparently it is inoperable, but they have a way to get it on the trailer, and then it's going to a place, not to the port, it's going to a place that containerizes equipment to send it overseas. they definitely have the means to get it off of the trailer. So if all that lines up and we can get an appointment for them down there, then we'll probably take that load, and that'll get us down to Baltimore to pick up the next one. So that will be good. Alright, so we are taking 86, or sorry, exit 8B here onto 11. Why do people do that? Coming onto the highway, you have an oversize getting off, and then you sit right next to them so you can't get off the exit. I don't know what they expect you to do. Looks like that's going to work out, hopefully. They're just calling the shipper and making sure that we're good to pick it up in a couple hours. Truck traffic straight across here. That says stop, please wait for assistance. So I guess that's what we will do. Alright, I'm gonna go see if I can find somebody, and we'll see about getting this thing unloaded. Alright guys, so he just told me to go ahead and break down here on the pavement, and then they'll come out. I'm gonna work my way over a little. Then they'll come out and unload it for me. So let's go get this thing off the trailer. Alright, and I think I'll set you guys on the other camera. We'll set you right here. Now we got to get it unchained. And Cat always wants to run the stuff off the trailer themselves, so we'll let them do that. Hopefully by the time we get this all done, that other load will be good to go. All right. good, and that fell. Alright, now we'll try to pull up and off to the right here. That'll give him room to come off the trailer. And he's already out there getting it. Love it. Alright, he just signed our paperwork. So now he's going to get her off the trailer. Haven't heard anything yet about the next load. So we will see. And he's just going to back it off. You guys see what I'm saying about how narrow? It's narrow behind it. On the trailer, behind the boards. Easy to slide off on the ramps. So there's another successful delivery, and watch him as he goes back into the snow there. Park it next to the other one. All right, now let's get the trailer hooked back up, and then we can be on our way. All right, guys, that load is done, and I am headed out. So we haven't heard back on the old forge load yet, that skidder. I'm just gonna head to the house, or towards the house anyway. Should probably put some air in my suspension before I take off. Anyway, I'm just gonna head towards the house. Hopefully we hear something, we can stop on the way and pick that up. If not, then I guess I'm just headed home. Alright guys, I am going to head back to the house. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you did. Hit that little notification bell, that way you'll know when I have another video coming out. So I hope you guys like the driver perspective on this one. It's not how I do my normal videos, but I thought I'd try something new, see if you guys enjoyed that. So from Binghamton, New York, this is Cliff with Hambletontransportation. I'll see you guys out there on the road.